All right, guys, it is my absolute pleasure to have on the My Story Unveiled podcast, my very, very first guest, one of my best friends. We've been through all sorts of chaos, triumphs, joys, catastrophes, you name it. It's happened. We're going to get into a little bit of it, but this is an opportunity, as you know, on this show for any guests that come on here to tell their story, speak a little about their life, get a little personal if they want to, and just really connect and inspire and just give you a little insight into their journey and their life so far. So it's with absolute pleasure that I welcome onto the show Rick Ohrn. Thank you for being here, brother.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
One of my dear friends. We met in Hollywood, California, both playing in separate bands back in the day. And there just always felt like there was something more between us. I didn't want to compete with you like some bands do. And there's that rivalry. Everyone wants to be the best. And it ended up that I left my own band to join your band. So I want to start by just giving the viewers and the audience and the listeners a little background as to our relationship. So from my episode, they know that I made my way out to LA pursuing the music career. That's how we actually met in 2014, because I ended up at one of your shows. So just to bring everyone up to speed, I came out to California, hit the ground running, through some friends, ended up at your show at Whiskey Blue on Hollywood Boulevard.
That's right. I remember the moment when we met. I remember what you said to me, too.
And when you guys hit the stage, I was like, this is like Guns N' Roses meets like, not the Sex Pistols, but it had that real punk energy and attitude. I love the rock and roll element, the punk element. I'm like, this is my kind of band. And I remember not just you, the whole band, you were so locked in. Gabe really inspired me too, your guitar player at that time, because Gabe had these Slash vibes and his playing was like so great as a lead player. And I was like, damn, I got to get in with these guys. I have to play shows with these guys. And from there, I know we bumped into each other a little bit around the Sunset Strip, and we sat down at the Rainbow one time and had a good chat and further connected. And I remember what you pointed out my guitar tattoo on my arm. He was like, dude, I love the guitar.
Yeah.
And how about that?
Yeah, we both got Les Pauls on our arms.
Les Paul tattoos, true Les Paul tattoos. So I want to steal this whole, moment. This is your limelight, but just bringing people up to speed. And I remember from there, you came to one of my shows at the Rainbow. Right. But after that, we just clicked so much. You were having some issues. I ended up joining your band, and it was just full on carnage, rock and roll, all the ups and downs of the roller coaster. And we're still sitting here right now, living to tell the tale. Who would have thought that? But anyway, that's just a little segue and intro. Me and Ricky, he was still are 10 plus years later, still alive after just so much rock and roll shenanigans. But tell me a little bit about, Rebel Hotel and the band, kind of feed off, what I just said about our relationship. And then we'll get into your interview like a little more and really get to know who is Rick Ohrn, and, you get into a little bit about your life. So
the band started out, I founded a band in Orange County when I was living down in Newport Beach. And we made some noise in OC and started packing houses in our hometown, Costa Mesa, Newport Beach. But everything fell apart at some point. The drummer, he made the guitar player and the bass player quit. Because they drove far away to come to play with me and the band. So then I packed up my bags. I'm going to LA. I'm going to start this over again. Recorded the third record, Visualize, Believe, Conceive.
Gotcha.
And then we started making headways in Hollywood, and we played everywhere. And I remember that night at the Whiskey Blue, it was one place that was available and open for one summer. And if I remember correctly, they didn't have alcohol permits, but everybody was saucing it up there anytime because they bought booze and they sold booze anyway. So it was open for one summer.
Yeah.
And then it got shut down.
It was
Is that
very
correct?
short-lived.
Yeah.
It was very short-lived.
And we played
yeah.
it all the time. We packed the house. It was amazing. And when you came up, you said to me that night, I love your band. You remind me of the Helicopters.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite band of all times. Them and Guns N' Roses. Swedish fast-driving rock band.
Yeah, and that's so funny, dude, because like you being from Sweden, a lot of my favorite bands were from Sweden. I love those bands like Crash Diet, Backyard Babies. They just had such a raw, great energy, and it shows in their sound. And those people are just like, it's just true energy that they put into the music. But
that's it. And Hardcore Superstar, another Swedish band, it's phenomenal. But then when we started hanging out, we clicked right away. It was just instant. Well, what do we call it? Love at first sight. We became best friends instantaneously.
Yeah.
And then we ended up in Rebel Hotel studio one night, you and I, and you started writing the riff on You're on Your Own.
Yeah.
And it's a driving riff. And we stayed up all night drinking beer and...
countless other... things, paraphernalia, you name it.
And yes,
it was on. But
I remember at the end of the night, we were falling asleep, the arms are buzzing, our heads are buzzing. It was probably daylight, the sun was up.
Yeah.
And we wrote the first song together.
We had a great product right there. And you know what's funny about that song is I just had like a little melody. You know, I actually had that melody, the... So it was like a little bit like, you know, not on the level of a Sweet Child of Mine, but Sweet Child of Mine is known for that doodle little, right? So I came with the melody, and then you put these like cool chords to it. We had something good. You went home, wrote some like killer lyrics, and then you're like, hey, why don't you come and jam with Rebel Hotel? And it just felt... It was just the right energy. Yeah. It would take a lot for me to quit my own band and project to join another band. But you impressed me from the minute you hit the stage. What you were about is exactly what I was and stood for. And it's like, if we're playing rock and roll, we're living rock and roll. And we did that. We might have not had the breaks of bands, you know, that come out of LA. But we were on fire. And we like, people knew who we were. And knew about us in Hollywood.
We put on good shows. We had our own light show, smoke show, and we put on the energy, and it was something we all worked on. It was swinging the guitars around and play it right. It was attitude and energy on the highest level, and the bands we admired was Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, those bands with, you know, the biggest umph of all of them.
Exactly.
And it was really interesting how you walked into the band at that time, because Gabe he's still one of my best friends.
Or more like drunkenly stumbled into the band.
Right. And Gabe was working at the time as well with a pop artist.
Okay.
That he was playing guitar for, and he was great. It was like, he reminds me of Prince, that kind of guy. And so me and Gabe sat down, and I'm like, I know you're really busy with this project. Why don't you go and play with them? And he's like, yeah, I really want to do that. And I said, okay, I have my buddy. He's going to play guitar for a bit. And then you walk straight in, and we wrote that song, You're on Your Own. That ended up, it's the opening song on the record we did together.
Yeah.
Turbulence Ahead, and it's on iTunes. People can check it out on Spotify.
Yeah, if you want to take a little dip down, you know, our memory lane, but maybe check out some new music for you. Well, yeah, we did write that EP. I'll tell you what I really appreciate about that. That EP, we very much kind of like not split the responsibilities, but you let me have my fair share. Even though it was, you know, kind of your band, your project, you let me come in as a guitar player. You told me many a time you write cool fucking tunes. I admire you as a player and your energy, and you let me actually contribute quite heavily to that EP. So I really appreciate that. It felt kind of like a half and half, you know. We both did like You're on Your Own, but the Cynthia Brown riff, you know, all that stuff, and we worked on it together. But I really liked that EP. There was some like good tunes.
Yeah, it was. And I wanted everybody to play your own self. Be yourself on the record. Even if I wrote the majority of this song, for example, you bring your attitude, you bring your style to it. You play it, be you.
Yeah.
And that was important for Carl on drums and Sato on the bass as well. You be you. And that's what made the band great.
Totally.
And that record was what I loved the most about that was that we recorded it like the old days. It was live. The whole record was live. We mic'd up the drums in one room. You, me, and Sato right next to each other. We played it standing up, looking at each other, rocking out as we were playing it. Recorded it live. We did, 7, 8 takes on each song, and I picked the best take on each one of them.
Dude, I'll tell you a funny story about that, because we were at Grandmaster Studios, I believe, right?
Yeah, right.
And, like, it's a great studio for what it is. Not sure if it's still there, but it's there on Cahuenga, just north of Sunset, between Sunset and Selma on Cahuenga. And I know you wanted to go in there and look like really professional. And then, of course, who comes walking in with a case of beer right before we've even barely set up? And I just went, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it's just like, it just brings back like, like some kind of funny comical memories that we can like laugh about now. But
you know what though? I remember that because we stayed clear-headed throughout the whole session.
Yeah.
Until we were done. And then everybody in the band sauced it up heavily. And we were going to redo something. And we were like, no, forget about that. We're not doing that right now. Nothing was way out of control at that point.
Totally.
And that was the way we lived it. We played the shows. We get on stage. We were pretty much sober. We had a drink or two before we got up on stage. But then after we tore it up. It was adrenaline and attitude. And afterwards, we partied up. And it was all-nighters every time we played. We had a great time.
Absolutely. And like, as people know from my opening like pilot episode of My Stories Unveiled, or My Story Unveiled, sorry. I've talked about my time in in deep with like addiction, the rock and roll lifestyle, and it goes hand in hand, that party lifestyle. But thankfully 9+ years on from all of this, I'm glad that I was able to overcome certain like habits and things that I was dealing with like within me, because it actually very much like it affected me in like weird ways. Like in some ways it helped me be in the personality I needed to be in, but it also, I think, like held me back. So me now being sober, so many years later, it's interesting to like look back and be able to like analyze the things we did, how we were compared to now. But it's all a part of the evolution. I wouldn't change anything. I had a blast doing what we did, and you can obviously like talk a little bit more on like Rebel Hotel and the evolution of that, or where you're at now. But what I'd like to do is just kind of like transition into the interview with you, Rick Ohrn, so people can get a feel, of you, your life story. So you ready to jump in?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. All right. Question number 1. So Rick Ohrn. Who is Rick Ohrn?
I would say there's 2 answers to that question. There's a spiritual version and there's this physical version, right? Because we're spiritual beings in a human experience. And the spiritual being, I'm going deeper. I had my spiritual awakening. After all of this happened with the band, we kind of came to a crashing halt where everything was too much. And the party in Rebel Hotel just stopped. And you went sober. I just stopped partying. I'm not sober, but I don't drink or I don't smoke, and it's a distinction there. I never ended up with addictions, even though I did everything I could to cause that. Yeah. But that was something I refused to accept. So I stopped all of that, got into real estate at the time. But back to the question about who I am. Yeah. It's a spiritual. I had a spiritual awakening. I went through a lot of adversity at that time, a lot. And it really brought me down to my knees. And I thought I failed everything in life. And that was the beginning of the awakening. So that my spiritual journey started there. But I grew up in Sweden. I was born and raised outside the countryside of Stockholm. Okay. I had good parents. My sister was my best friend. My old man, my father, he said to me, you're the big brother, protect your sister. Gotcha. She's going to be there for your whole life. And you make sure you guys are best friends and you protect her. I like that. And I was raised that way, and she's my best friend today. She got 2 kids and a husband in Sweden, and I live in the family life over there. Yeah. And my teens were, upbringing was great. I had a great family. My teens were a little troubled. I ended up with all my buddies. We ended up becoming a gang, sort of. Not the gangs like here, but we were not
It's a very
full-on
tight-knit
criminals.
group,
Yeah, we
like-
tight-knit group, and we were drinking and fighting. That was the lifestyle in Sweden. You drink and fight and get into trouble. We got into a lot of trouble. We stole cars, we did burglaries, we robbed people, and we did smash and grabs.
This is more like your teenage
the
years.
later teenage.
I gotcha.
And we did smash and grabs. And if you don't know what that is, you just smash in the storefront windows and pick whatever we want out of the storefront and then sold it in schools. We had money to buy beer. That's what we did. And it all came to a stop after a big fight with another group of people. We were all arrested and thrown inside.
So this would be like a rivalry gang.
It was actually a group of people that came out from the city out in the countryside. And they had threatened a guy out there. They were going to kick his ass.
Yeah.
And my best friend Mike, he's like, nobody's coming out here to kick an ass. So let's go and kick some ass.
Right.
So we went over to this party and ended up being the biggest brawl. The whole house was destroyed.
Oh my God.
We took off. We finished off what we came for, which was stupid. And then they called the cops and said we shot bullets in the house, which we didn't. We had a gun, but nothing was fired. And so the cops came and picked us up and locked us up, and then we were taken to jail. And then you can stay 3 days in the police jail.
I gotcha.
Then they got to take you to court. That's how the system is.
Yeah.
And the judge decided to keep you or not, and he did, which was against what we thought. We were just delinquents.
Yeah. What did you end up getting charged with, if you don't mind?
It was assault.
I gotcha.
Assault. So that was it. But ultimately, they threw us inside for a while, and we got out, and my best friend's dad, he was a powerful business guy.
Yeah.
Everybody respected him. When Lars talked, everybody listened.
I gotcha.
He had this authority. So he sat us down with our families, and he's like, all right, this is it. You guys figure out what to do now, because this is done. No more jail time. So my buddy Mike, he's like, let's start a rock and roll band. And my passion since I was a kid, I wanted to play drums since as early as I remember. And then it became the guitar. My father never wanted me to have a drum set because he knew there would be never peace around. So I was so drawn to this, to play music, because we started playing in a band, a garage band. We were horrible, but it became a passion, and it never stopped.
Fantastic.
And then I got into boxing to deal with anger, because I had a lot of anger. It was mine and my father's relationship probably caused that.
I gotcha.
He was a good man, but he also caused me, it was a lot of letdowns there that made me angry.
Okay. Would you be open to maybe like talking about something that might have like impacted you like negatively, like with that? Was it just the overall like relationship? Like, was there like maybe not like a closeness between you, or?
Yeah, that was missing. My mom was amazing on every level. It was all the love there was. But my dad there was some disconnection there, but he was an alcoholic.
Gotcha.
So he stayed away a lot. He was never violent. He was never mean, but he stayed away because he kind of wanted to hide it. So he stayed in his office, or he stayed on the boat. He had a boat he liked, so he said he was going to work on the boat, but never came home. So and there was a lot of letdowns. He was going to take me to hockey practice and soccer practice, but he didn't do that. So those letdowns caused a lot of rage in me.
I gotcha. And that's definitely going to affect the type of bond and relationship you have. If you don't, as a male, if you don't have a father that's present, or a mother that's present, right, it's going to affect that natural, like bonding and that relationship in general. So it makes total sense. I will say as well, everything you've said so far, it resonates with me. It's me. I started out as a drummer too. Started playing drums, then ended up, I want to be a bit more in the limelight, because my ego started to I want to be in the front. So I just became the front man, played guitar. So everything you've been saying, apologies to interject, we've got a very similar upbringing. Same with my father, biological father as well. Didn't really know him, didn't have a good relationship. My parents divorced when I was about 10, 11 years old, and didn't have much of a relationship with my biological father, to be honest. So very, very similar in what you're saying there. But
and it causes something as you're growing up, and to me it was a lot of rage.
Yeah.
And I've realized later in my own personal development that if I feel let down by somebody, I take it very personal.
Right.
And that's because of that. And when I came to that realization, it's like, oh, that's where that comes from. But it also caused me to want to prove myself to him. So I felt when I took on something I wanted to do, my sister told me this, and I never even reflected over it. She said, when you decide to do something, you get good at it.
Yes.
And I don't say that to pat my own back.
No.
It was something I realized, and it was because I wanted to prove to my dad, I'm good,
Yeah, yeah.
And he was a good man. He was a kind man, and he was a man's man, and he taught me to stand on my own.
Yeah, yeah.
He was great, but it was this connection we had. So I still feel I had a really good upbringing with him. But the teens were very troubled because the group of guys I was socializing with.
Yeah.
And there was a few guys there that went to prison and jail for quite some time.
Let me ask you this then. Talk about maybe like a childhood memory that now, looking back, it's actually affected you in like a positive way, like, or maybe in your teens, maybe, I don't know, to do with the crime. Is there something now after analysing it, it's actually helping you out now at this point in life?
Well, when that happened, when we were locked up for a bit, the one thing I decided not to do was to go back there. I'm this is not me. This is not what I'm supposed to do with my life.
Yeah, yeah.
That we did that to stand up with our friends. It was that peer pressure with other guys. It was fights. You got to help out. Some guys in the group were more. They picked fights.
Yeah.
And you couldn't. So they picked fights with groups of people everywhere we went. We were drinking, partying.
Yeah, yeah.
You couldn't back
mentality.
off. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah. So you couldn't back off. So there was a loyalty there on a very high level.
Yeah, yeah.
But one thing about my childhood, I spent a lot of time by myself out in the countryside. My sister and I were close friends, but she had some friends she hung out with, and there was no boys out there. So I was spending a lot of time on my own in the forest. So I am very comfortable alone. I spend a lot of time alone now. I always lived alone, or I lived with a girlfriend, but most of my life I lived alone.
Gotcha.
And I like my alone time. And I get to think a lot and working on things I want to accomplish in life. So I do feel very comfortable with being alone. I think that came from my childhood, spending a lot of time alone.
Perfect, Swede. Yeah, I think like independence, it's good. Sometimes you need that alone time to be able just to sit and process things and for ideas to flow and things like that too.
Yeah, it's easy to get distracted with all the TV and social media nowadays and just distractions. And I'm staying away from all of that.
Fantastic, dude. But maybe talk about some experiences you've had that have been key in developing you into the person that you are today.
But one thing that I was always drawn to adventures. So I got into boxing to deal with my rage. Yeah. So I was boxing for years, did a lot of fights in Sweden, and I went to Norway to fight. And then after that, I was recruited into the military.
Gotcha.
So I did my military service as a coast ranger in Sweden, which is one of the toughest units. It's an attack unit. We take back land. If never a neutral country, we've never been in war, but that was our duty. If somebody come in and take an island, we take it back.
Yeah, and you definitely haven't got that California sunshine out there. You're dealing with some pretty brutal, cool temps, I'm assuming.
It was cold and freezing. Oh, I mean, that's how Sweden is, and that's why I left. By the end of that, I know a lot of the diver guys, they took off to Thailand and Australia to become dive instructors because they were trained in the toughest circumstances. So we talked about that. A lot of the guys were like, dude, we should go somewhere. My best buddy and I, we took off to Australia.
Nice.
And I spent a couple of months in Australia. I went up from Sydney up to Cairns and back and dove the Barrier Reef and went to the Crocodile Hunters Farm.
Oh, that's wild.
And experienced so much fun in a few months. And experienced the beaches and the palm trees and the sunshine and the consistent summer. And when I got back to Sweden, I wanted to bring out my buddies. Let's do this. Let's go to Norway. Let's go down in Europe. And nobody wanted to do anything.
Right.
And then the snow came. And I'll never forget this. I mean, I worked construction at the time. And the snowing outside. We're doing an interior. I'm looking out. And the sun was out. And that's unusual on a snowy. And the whole winter season is muggy, most of the time dark and gray. The sun was out, it was just that shimmering snow.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought to myself, you know what, I don't want to be here anymore. So I just dropped my stuff, walked into the office, looked up the yellow pages, and called an airline company and bought a new ticket back to Australia. The boss coming in and asked me how things are going. I said, yeah, they go fantastic. By the way, I'm going to take off for a couple of months. I'm going back to Australia for 6 months. And he goes, well, I need you here. I said, well, I quit because I'm leaving. See you later, dude. And he said, all right, do whatever you want to do. So I took off, and Christmas morning, I flew back to Australia. And this time I was really focusing on boxing because my boxing coach had told me if you turn professional, you can get a pro athlete visa very easy.
Gotcha.
It's the easiest way, he said. And he imported a lot of fighters to Sweden from other countries. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do that. So I went to Sydney and Melbourne and traded pro gyms and set everything up. And I was dead set on going back to turn professional. And it wasn't real. I was going to become this boxer. It was just a ticket out of there. And I enjoyed boxing. So on the way back, I met this American woman traveling through the Greek archipelago.
Gotcha. Can I ask you real quick? This is obviously after your little criminal situation.
This is when we straightened out.
What kind of age range are we looking at here? 20s?
Yeah, I was probably 24, 25.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was that age. Yeah.
So you go to Australia, and that's a hell of a landmass for that country as well. Like, you want to get places, it's long drives or you're flying pretty much.
Oh, absolutely. Most of it is just desolate.
So were you able to work your way up through the ranks and turn semi-professional, professional with the boxing?
I trained at both pro gyms in both Melbourne and Sydney, and I was sparring with the people there. And for boxing gyms, nobody makes friends in there. You're coming in to fight people. So they looked at me like, who the hell is this guy? But I did a couple of sparrings in there, and they realized, he kind of know what he's doing. And there was a different attitude right there and then. And I just kept training there, and I had those gyms set up. And I went to Melbourne from Sydney, and I kept doing it there. And then when I went back to Sweden to basically finalize turning the papers in and become a pro and then apply for a visa, that was my plan. But then I met this American woman, and she came to stay with me in Sweden. Yeah. And she ended up staying for almost a year. And we talked the whole time about going to California because that's why we were in Greece. We wanted sunshine and palm trees when we met. And so the whole boxing career, I kind of put that aside. That wasn't my real life goal. I just want to go to a warm place at this point. So we came out to California, and I was always drawn to play music. That was something I was drawn to the whole time. As soon as I was able to play with somebody, I loved it. Yeah. And I started playing in bands here, and my goal became, I'm going to be a rock star. That was it. And I was played in multiple different bands, auditioned for bands, and then I ended up in some bands and played with them for a while, and then I got into 4 really, really good bands. And I never felt like I was a great guitar player. That wasn't my strength. So I had to do my performance. I have to do something to bring something big to the band.
Totally.
So my performance became very energetic and very intense. And that was something that when I started Rebel Hotel, I'm like, this is what we have to do. You guys have to work, and you go home and play the songs, but not standing there like you're in line to buy a ticket to a movie theater. You're going to rock that house like nobody else.
Well, because the bar got set pretty high as well in terms of performance and, like bands and stuff, like you're talking now in like the 2010s, I'm assuming. The bar got set high in like the 80s. So this is like 30 years later, 25, 30 years later, where you've already had epic classic rock bands. Now you've essentially, it's hard to outdo them, but you've got to compete on that kind of level to get noticed in a place like LA. So validating everything you're saying, you got to be great here.
It's true. And from touring, it's so different. When you play in LA, people have this attitude. I'm going to hate you unless you prove yourself to be really good, right? That's the attitude people, they're like, okay, we're not going to like you. But if they like you, you are really good. Because here the competition is fierce.
It is pretty fierce.
You gotta bring it. And if you don't, people won't like you. If you go to Arizona, or you go to Nevada, or you go to Michigan, or anywhere else, people are gonna love you because you're from an LA rock band. They love you automatically. But here you have to fight to win the crowd over. And I have seen so many bands failing completely to bring the crowd over. People are like, okay.
If you're not established, LA is a hard crowd because it's crazy, man. When I was in like my teens, going to rock shows, metal shows, hard rock shows, punk shows, right? We're in it. The personality of like the Brits is like, we're in, like we're one of you, we're one of the band members. I come out to the States and LA, and you do get some really good like music scenes. But LA, and I've even watched documentaries like the New York Dolls, and you know, when were they playing? The 60s? The New York Dolls came out to LA from New York, and they were like, this kind of Hollywood crowd, and people were very just stagnant and standing still. And I always have associated like LA music and live venues with, you know, like bands that blew up in that glam metal or hard rock scene, you know, like your Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, you know, all those kind of bands. So when you think of that energy in the music, you kind of assume like, oh yeah, you know, the crowds are going to be like that. But I played a lot of shows out here where we've been full on and people are just pretty chill. I don't know. People do smoke a lot of weed though in California. So.
It's true, but it is. You got to fight for the crowd here. You got to win them over. You got to deliver. You have to, otherwise they won't. They'll diss you. And we did it good. We were good at it. There was no doubt about that. And,
a lot of fun times. So
yeah.
So I've got an idea on like your story so far, and what brought you out here. Obviously, you met an American woman. That brought you out to the States, and from there you obviously like were pursuing music. That was your number one goal. That's obviously a big part of your personality and who you are. And like a lot of people do, you know, I feel like Hollywood is the place to be taken seriously and have those opportunities and get the chance to really like rub shoulders, you know, with people that are on that level. And if you're in the right place at the right time, you know, or you do the right networking and you are good enough, there's definitely those opportunities. I've gone through, you know, my times of putting in like everything and getting discouraged, you know, with music and stuff as well. Like, talk to me like a little bit about like, you know, where you felt like you'd peaked with Rebel Hotel and when things started, you know, falling off, and then what that kind of evolved into. Because I know you did have that show. This is before I joined the band, but you played at the Roxy. It was a really big show, really big crowd. With, what was the name of the artist?
Ozzy Osbourne was the headliner that night.
Right.
He played with the Royal Machines.
Okay.
The Royal Machines are Dave Navarro and Billy Morrison.
Yeah.
They bringing in guys they bringing in all the rock stars, every one of them, depending on where they're playing. And Ozzy was there. Billy Gibbons was there. Billy Idol wasn't there at that show. He played another one.
Yeah.
It was all the big guys. The big names were there. So we opened that night for them, which was amazing. It was one of the best shows we've ever done. It really put us on a map differently in LA. And so we were on a rise there. And then later on, you came in the band. But then when Sato left the band, the bass player left, he moved to Tennessee. And that was a big turning point. It felt like we lost a big part of the engine right there.
100%.
Sato was such a powerful bass player, world class, one of the best ones ever.
Yeah.
I don't like to say best when it comes to music or art.
But
He made one of the most amazing ones. Let me put it that way.
I agree for sure. And I had the chance to play with his brother in a couple bands too. And you know, they're Japanese. They're very disciplined. It's a part of their culture, and they are phenomenal. When they lock in, they are phenomenal. You can't compete with them at all.
No, I mean world class.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we've done it for so long, so many years, and it was the same thing happened. It was never ever up to this next level. We played big shows here, but we didn't really make money. It was not something that pushed us forward in life. It became a spinning wheel.
Yeah.
And when Sato left, I got into real estate because I had a bunch of money at the time, and I wanted to get into real estate, invest, and become a passive investor. So I was learning about it, and I wanted to own apartment buildings and get mailbox money, residual. So I started taking courses and classes and learning about real estate, and we slowed it down. You left the band right there.
Yeah, I think I had my
You
own stuff
disappeared.
going on. Yeah.
I had to take off because it was too crazy. So
yeah.
I fled America for a while. I had to get out of here.
I think everything naturally crumbled. People have stuff going on in their personal life. I know, like, our antics, the hardcore partying antics. I think Sato, you know, might not have vocalized it out loud, but I think it was like, you know, it took its toll on him a little bit, and the band just naturally like dissipated. You know,
And the reason Sato left, he never told me that, but I think he was tired of us.
I would,
because he didn't party at all. He
Yeah.
never drank. He never did drugs. None of that. He was just solid, perfect, just the perfect bass player for any world class.
Could have been the perfect session player.
Yeah.
Could play with anyone. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I feel, you know, bad. We were a handful. We were absolutely a handful. Enough to make anyone like quit a band. But I'm so thankful to him for holding up for as long as he did and giving us, you know, those magical moments with all the shows we played. Like, it was a pleasure to play as that unit.
Yeah,
for sure.
My hat's off to Sato. I mean, he's one of the greatest I've ever known, and I had all those years playing with him. He held it down.
Totally.
And then we had Carl on drums, who was also, he was like you and me, just the Toxic Three. Is that what you called us?
Well, I called us the Terror Twins. That was like a play on like
right.
the Tommy Lee, Nikki Sixx, you know, like Terror Twins. Because I mean, we were just like, it was just no filter. It was, it was just a wild one. You know, it's rock and roll. It is what it is. You know,
it's fun. Rock and roll is fun.
It's funny, actually, on that note, when you were talking a little bit, when you said Lars, one of the friend's dads, that was, you know, saying, hey, it's time to really like get together and like think about your life. And that Michael Monroe song came into my head, Dead Jail or Rock and Roll. And, you know, you chose the rock and roll. It brought you out to the US. You had like a super good run out here. And I know you've had moments like as well, while obviously pursuing like other career interests where the band has popped up, or you've done some solo stuff as well. What I wanted to ask you is, in terms of your interests, where you're at now, are you currently like reading any cool books? Are you listening to any particular, you know, like podcasts? Are you watching any like TV shows, documentaries? Anything inspiring that you would like to talk about or give a special mention right now?
Absolutely. I'm a member of an exclusive membership club called the Global Information Network. And to break it down, it's a club to teach you how to be or do anything you want. Basically helping you, supporting you, teaching you how to accomplish your dreams. What am I talking about? I think most people are familiar with the term law of attraction nowadays. And they teach you in this club, it's a system how to use that, how to learn, understand to use it, because we're all using it 24/7.
Yeah.
Your thoughts create your feelings are the magnetizing force that pull things into your life. If you're happy, you get more things to be happy about. If you're pissed off, you get more things to be pissed off about. That's how it works. And when you really understand this on a deeper level, you use this universal laws, like law of gravity. It works whether you believe it or not. You walk up the rooftop, you're falling down if you step off, right? The law of attraction is the same. It works for whatever you're focusing on, you get. So this club, it's a system. It's a 5-point system. It's books, audios, meetings, and then recognize other people's success, and then the relationships. And the relationships is almost the best part of it, because you meet like-minded people.
Fantastic.
And some people have asked me, are you in a business cult? It's none of that. There's nothing strange about it. It's just a positive club that teaches you how to accomplish your dreams with a big support system that is non-judgmental. And they give us a book list, books to read, to change. That's how you change your brain. It should change your thinking.
Yep.
Because that's what it comes down to. Whatever you have in your life, is you change your thinking, you're going to change your reality.
Absolutely.
So I'm listening to audios all the time. I brought 2 books with me here. These are 2 of my favorite books. And this one is just killer. Ask and it's given. And this is really about law of attraction on the highest level. This book is so amazing, and it's recommended by the club.
Excellent.
By Esther and Jerry Hicks.
Who's the author of that?
Esther and Jerry Hicks.
Cool.
And Esther is a channeler, so she basically channeled what intelligence telling her.
Yeah.
So this is a powerful book to learn how to manifest things and live a happy, successful life. And success is, what is the definition of success? Whatever it is to you, what is it you want to accomplish? It's not about money, because money is just something that comes out of something valuable. And whatever is valuable to you, you can make money on.
Yeah.
So define success is, the definition is a progressive realization of a worthwhile dream. So what are you dreaming about? What do you want to do? And most people don't accomplish their dreams because they don't believe they can do it.
100%.
And this is what this club gives us. It gives us and show us ways of doing it and techniques to, and then we start believing it. And once you believe it, then you can actually
along
do it.
with the support as that cushion and like catapult, because you need that good positive collective energy. You know, it obviously helps to kind of like rewire your brain into like, I can do this, and I've got the support of my, you know, my friends right here.
Absolutely. And it teaches you how to do it. Not the how is the interesting discussion, because the how to accomplish something doesn't matter. It has zero. When people are, well, how am I going to do that? Don't think about that, because if you're thinking about the how, most likely you're going to fail because you don't know how.
Right.
Nobody that accomplished big dreams know how to do it. You go as far as you can see. When you get there, you see further, and then you go there and you see further.
Absolutely.
So you focus. The trick, really, break it down, is you focus on the outcome you want. And then the universe is going to start delivering the situations to get there.
100%.
But if you focus on the how, you focus, there's doubt, and then you're never going to accomplish it.
I'm a big believer as well in that you have to keep, you know, feeding it the right sort of energy to see it grow. Like, you can't just water that seed once and think, okay, I'm going to have a tree 2 years from now. You know, maybe you'll get lucky and the weather will just come in and take care of it if you really got some divine, you know, governance looking out for you. But it's about consistency. Like, I'm assuming that these kind of like not programs, but you know, these formulas and different things that they're having you go through to achieve what you want to achieve and see come into fruition. There's a level of discipline and consistency that needs to be upheld to reach that.
Absolutely, and you have to believe in it. So, a way to figure out what you want to accomplish in life, take a piece of paper and write down, if money was not an object, write down anything you would do. You had trillions in the bank, you can do whatever you want. What do you feel inside you want to do? And when you do this on a regular basis, I would recommend you to do this for 14 days. To take 5 minutes before you go to bed. Set your alarm on 5 or 10 minutes on your phone and write down your dreams. What would you do? If you do this for 30 days, you're going to find things going to be different every day, because you're going to start dreaming big. You're like, wait, I can do this. Oh, wait, if I can do that. In the beginning, it's going to be a lot of things about personal things, physical things you want. I want a yacht, I want an airplane, I want a race car, whatever. But you're going to also start seeing things you want to do and what you want to do for other people. But the interesting thing is, if you do this for 30 days, there's going to be things on that list that comes back.
Yeah.
And if you start diving into those things and look back at your childhood, if you're connected to those things, that might be your life purpose.
Very interesting.
That's still there. So it's a way to figure out your life purpose, and then you focus on what's the outcome you want, and then focus on the outcome, and all of a sudden the universe is going to start delivering people, events, situations, and circumstances. They're going to guide you in that direction.
Absolutely.
So never think about the how. Just go for it. Take the first step and
maybe
see what
even
happens.
start small. You know, like, because obviously you got to sometimes build your way up to things, earning things.
A key thing about that is it have to be something you believe in.
Yeah.
So you have to be big enough to get you excited.
Have that passion there for it.
But it's got to be small enough so you believe you can do it. Because if you
realistic.
don't believe it, you're never going to move into action anyway. So take it something that you like, I can accomplish this. And for me, looking back in my life, it was music.
Yeah.
And after all of this debauchery happened with the band, I kind of fell out of that. I got into real estate, had a real estate investment company. Ultimately, I ended up broke, kicked out on the street. I literally they told me to pack my and get out. I loaded up my guitars on my pickup truck and I'm like, what am I going to do now?
I'm going to say a saying that I really love. There's two sayings I really love. One talks about the law of impermanence. I believe that, things are constantly changing. There is no permanent, but I'll get into Buddhist philosophy later. But rejection is redirection. Three powerful words. And if you think about it, sometimes rejection, don't always look at it from a negative standpoint. You can understand that, okay, this might not be what I want, but this is where I'm at. Where's the universe moving me towards now? What direction am I moving in? So you telling me that little example there, that leads me to believe that the universe has got plans, more important plans that are more aligned with your purpose. And from that moment, which might have felt, quite abrupt, and it might have felt like quite discouraging in that moment, it's only moved you closer to where you're meant to be. Would you say that's true?
Absolutely true. And the thing is, I wanted to get into business at this point. The band kind of fizzled out.
Dwindled off.
I wanted to make money so I could keep on playing music, because we didn't make much money in music. And I went into an entertainment situation with an entertainment company. We produced one movie. I had raising funds for it. And it was an amazing learning experience. Met a lot of amazing people.
I remember I was at the premiere.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Got to support the, you got to support you guys.
That's right. And then from there on, that kind of fell apart when the COVID came out. And from there on, I just wallowed around for a couple of years. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I got in. Well, I can bring this book up. This is not a book I'm reading. I'm going to talk more about this. The Natural Cures that they don't want you to know about. It's a book that's also changed my life completely. But Kevin Trudeau, he's the author, written 3 different books, and he's the founder of the club I'm in.
Gotcha.
So I've learned so much from him, and there's so many opportunities coming out of the club.
Gotcha.
And this book is incredible. I mean, it tells you, the chapter 6 tells you how to stay healthy. The reasons people are sick, and it's so much easier than people think. And the reason I brought this up is because all the opportunities I've got from being a member of the Global Information Network and from Kevin Trudeau. And I'm doing affiliate marketing for a product that he released called 3 Keys to Internet Millions.
Very nice.
And it's communication, copywriting, and online marketing. So the product on its own help you how to market the product. But I also learned copywriting from the product. So I've been writing sales copy for companies.
Fantastic.
So I'm writing advertising, social media posts, email sequences, and so on. And I'm using certain programs. It's a science and an art to do that. But I have the right programs to do it on a high level, recommended by Kevin Trudeau and John Benson and the top of the world copywriters. So why I'm bringing this up is I've shifted everything into business and do affiliate marketing and copywriting. But all of a sudden, everything pushed me right back into music. So I'm getting signs to the right and the left, even through the club meetings, the people I meet. I'm also an artist. I do art. I'm signed to a gallery in Beverly Hills, ACCA, ACCA.
The creative fire never dies. That's one thing I learned. I've tried to push my music career away. It started to feel like an attack on the senses, listening to heavy metal. I blacked out my whole arm because I got sick of looking at like a person I did not know anymore, because all my tattoos reminded me of who I was in my 20s. And like, I'm not this person. So I went as far as doing the blackout sleeve to eradicate my past. You can only run so far, but what is meant for you will always find its way back and push you to, serve your purpose. But I like where we're at right now in this conversation, because I was actually going to ask you, like, where are you currently at in life in terms of, where are you at? I know you said you're reading this book, you're, ascending nicely in gin. How are you feeling in yourself at this point in your life? And is there any fresh, like aspirations, concepts, anything you're involved in? Obviously, gin, I'm assuming you're probably going to elaborate on this. But where are you at in life? Give us a little idea on that. And then what are you excited to embark on? Like, what's next for Rick?
The reason I brought this up was because the opportunities I get from the club, and I got into business and online affiliate marketing and copywriting. But it have pushed me right back into music. So where I'm at right now is I'm recording a record, a solo record. And this started from when I had to flee America for a while. I had to get away from somebody.
Not because you were on the FBI's watch list or anything. We just want to clarify.
I hope not.
Well, I don't know, but
I don't know. Maybe I was that too.
So-
But then I went down to South America, to a couple of different countries, and I absolutely fell in love with music styles.
Okay.
Just different styles of music. And I got back here, and it started as a joke, but then it became something I wanted to do. So I'm recording a solo record right now, and I'm on the 9th song. I have trademarked a term. So this is something that's never been done before. I'm really excited about roll this out, and I'm writing a book about all the stories that we have done, the military stories, the boxing stories, my upbringing, and all my travel stories. So basically written autobiography, but also things that led me into this record and why I created this. So I'm really excited about to roll something out that's never been done in music before, and I'm gonna release a book, the story about how it came about as well.
Perfect.
So that's where I'm at right now. I'm doing the affiliate marketing to make money,
Sure.
and to spread something good that other people can make money on as well.
Perfect.
And it helps businesses to help them redefine their sales copy, and it's an amazing product. So I am super happy right now. I'm happier than ever been. I'm healthier than ever been. I feel hopeful is not the right word, because I feel so excited about what's happening in life right now. Learning what I'm learning about the law of attraction, how I create my own reality, how to make my life better, how to stay in focus on things that makes you feel happy, because it's either happy or you're feeling good or you're feeling bad to varying degrees, and you can control that from the inside.
Absolutely.
Most people are controlled by the outside, the news of this terrible things are happening, and politics, and all these negative things we're reading and hearing about. And I just cut all of that out.
Yeah.
I never watch the news. I never watch any politics. I don't care about. I have the philosophy of it doesn't matter who's in the office. It does not affect who I am and what I do
100%
in my life. So why am I getting emotionally involved in something I can't control?
Yeah.
I just don't.
Absolutely.
So that's my advice to anybody. Don't get emotionally involved in something you can't control.
Totally. And that's not to say don't be passionate and don't be, for something, because everyone's entitled to, lean towards whatever works for them. But in doing so, let's just take politics, for example, you support a political party. Naturally, you've got somebody that opposes that. It just is natural tension from the get-go. You know what I mean? Like, if your person doesn't get elected for president, you're miserable for 4 years, possibly 8, right? Or until, you know what I mean? It's one of them. And yeah, I'm the same as you. I had to withdraw myself a lot. As much as I love being informed and in the know, I can't be, too attached to it, because I find that there's so much negativity that comes with it. It will have an impact on you, your psyche, your emotional health, or it can create division, as well.
Absolutely.
Which is a problem. But
there's 3 things I never get involved in. I never discuss with people, and it's very simple. It's politics, religion, and sports. I don't care of any of it. Your sport team, I hope your sport team win. I don't care what sport team, I hope they all win. Politics, I don't care who's the president. I don't care who is the candidate. I don't care.
It's not going to stop us doing
religion,
what we want to do.
Believe whatever you want to believe. It's fine with me. As long as it's peace, that's all I care. I treat people the way I want to be treated. And I'm working on the best I can to live my life after the golden rule and the expanded golden rule. Do you know the golden rule?
Tell us about it.
Treat others the way you want to be treated. But the expanded golden rule is think about others the way you want them to think about you. Talk about others the way you want them to talk about you.
Very interesting.
So go deeper. So never talk ill about people, because everything is karma. Everything you say, everything you do will come back to you one way or another in law of attraction.
I love that, dude.
And the deeper you understand that, the happier you get, because it pushes you to become happy. Because when you're happy, you know right things are coming to you.
You are pulling out some great spiritual philosophy right there. literally almost like straight out of like Buddhism type philosophy. I've been in Buddhist temples and programs in Thailand where that, like the few of the last things you were saying about, you know, no ill speech and, you know, not thinking bad towards people and just trying to conduct yourself in the best way possible. Like these are like practices that are actually quite spiritual practices. We're at this point now in the podcast interview where I want to just open it up completely to you, since we are like basically at the end here, a message that you would like to share with the viewers and end with, like if you could, you know, just give like, you know, anything you want to say. It's your stage.
I want to say this to anybody: you can accomplish what you want. Go for your dream. Don't hold back. Don't think it's outside circumstances holding you back from doing it. Everybody have something in their life they want to do. It might be a small thing. You want to open up a coffee shop. You want to have a horse. You want to buy a dirt bike. I don't know. Everybody has something they want or want to accomplish. And it's available for everybody because we're born with such an internal power that we are programmed to not understand and not to know about. But once you start awakening that feeling and start understand how it works, all of a sudden the whole world changes. And you start seeing the opportunities and everything. So for me, it started with an audio series called Your Wish is Your Command by Kevin Trudeau that I found on YouTube. It was available there before. Now it's not. If anybody want to hear it, I can give you access to that if you send me an email. Can I put my email up in the podcast here?
Absolutely. It's going to be in the description. You can check Ricky out. So yeah, anything you want to plug right now, your website, anything you connected with the gin stuff.
Yeah, everything's going to be on the site. I have a website. It's rickyohrn.com. So RICKYOHRN. That's November.com. And I have everything on there. I have my art pieces, I have the music, and the new record and book's gonna be available there. It's gonna be later this year. I'm just gonna be finished with everything. I have one more song now to do on the record, and
Beautiful.
Aaron is playing on one of the songs. So there's one of the songs we wrote together in one night in Laurel Canyon.
I do remember. Yeah, bittersweet circumstances.
Right.
Bittersweet circumstances. Really beautiful song. Unfortunately, the reason it was written because one of our friends had passed away. So a way to honor their spirit, a way to honor their beautiful spirit.
I don't know if I told you this. I have to tell you this story. When she passed away, Lisa passed away. We called her the sixth band member. She was always with us. She sold merch. She was always helping us out at the shows. Always looked out for us. She went to Vegas and never came back.
Yeah.
And I was going to go with her. And it ended up, after the show, waking up in my truck. She already left. I woke up, the son I had with guitars next to me, sleeping in the back seat. And I got home and she'd already left and she never got back from Vegas. I got the news that she passed away. I'm sitting in my bed.
Yeah.
You remember my bedroom there on Laurel Canyon?
Yeah.
And there was no sun came in because there was a big forest right outside my window. And I'm sitting there. I was crying. I was devastated she passed. And stopped and looked up. And it was two lights passed on my mirror wall. Passed by.
That's crazy.
I get the goosebumps thinking about that.
Same, dude.
So it's her. She came to say that don't worry about it. Everything is fine. It was a hard loss, but that song became one of the songs on this record, and it's called Lisa's Song.
Lisa's Song. So keep an eye out, keep an ear out on that. That'll be coming at the end, towards the end of the year.
That's it.
And on that note as well, I'd like to dedicate this episode to Lisa, one of our great friends. To summarize, I got a couple things that come to mind. To summarize this whole great conversation, what do you think? Pursue your dreams, keep the pace.
That's it. Pursue your dreams. Go for your dreams. You can do it, and everything will line up. Once you start making that move, things will start lining up, and adversity is your friend.
It is.
Because through adversity that's where you find what you wanted, because you find what you don't want.
Diamonds are formed under
pressure. Right. So adversity is your friend. I've been through a lot of adversity, and that's when you start really discovering what you don't want, and now you know what you really want.
Yeah.
So you can accomplish it. There is help out there. There's books to read. If you want to join the Global Information Network, contact me. I can be the contact person into the club. Get on my website, send me an email. If you want Your Wish Is Your Command, and free audio that will change the way you look at life, I will give you access. I can't send you the audios because it doesn't belong to me, but I can give you free access for it. And it has, what you're talking about, the principles in Buddhism, it's all universal principles. And they're congruent in every religion.
Right.
It doesn't oppose any religion. It's congruent in every single one of them. And it's really how it works. It's how the universe works.
Yeah.
And when you understand how it works, you can use it all to your advantage. And all of a sudden, things in life get easier. You're happier. You're healthier. You can manifest good health. I manifested better vision. I can read without glasses in the morning. I manifested the house I'm living in. I manifested money. I even manifested a trip from Sweden to the US on an expired passport. I get to the airport in Stockholm, and I'm like, my passport expired like 2 days ago. I didn't even know. I flew over there, and I managed to get back to the States without the passport.
So lucky.
So there's power within, and if you know how to use it, you can use it, and it works. It works 100% of the time. So I hope that can be inspiring for anybody. If there's anything you need help with to figure this out, reach out to me through my website, rickyohrn.com. And I am on a mission to do good things in life. I've done a lot of bad things, but now I just want to do good and create good karma for myself.
Exactly.
And for
I was
else
about to say, swinging the karma around. Well, dude, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you here. Loved the conversation, loved your journey, loved your evolution. Love where you're at now. Thank you for the inspiring messages. I know everyone's going to be so grateful to receive that, to be able to check out the gin stuff, check out reconnects.com, and we are going to swing it into a nice little surprise for you. We got a stripped down version of one of our old songs, Keep the Pace, coming to you right now. Enjoy. Ricky, thanks for everything, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Love you, dude.
Love you too, brother. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And guys, we'll see you on the next episode of My Story Unveiled. It's been a long, long time since we've had the pleasure to really be doing this. It's an absolute honor to be here with Rick Ohrn, who for me has got many different personalities. Ricky Reckless. We certainly did get reckless back in the day. However, stripping things down a little bit for this one, we're going to throw down and do one of our old Rebel Hotel songs called Keep the Pace. I personally wanted to play this song because it's just got such a killer riff in it, such a killer energy. And I just really want to play this song because it's such a great energetic, like, dynamic in there. Anything you want to say, Rick?
This is a song every show we did, this is the second song we played every single time. Every show. So let's do it. Keep the pace.
And just real quick, there's one more thing. Just one final thing that I need to do before we get into this.
You got it. You brought it, man.
It had to happen, man. It had to happen. It's been a long time since we pulled out this, but we can't play these songs without the jacket.
All right, brother. Good to see you, man. This is great.
Oh man, there's a lot of history in these jackets.
Oh man.
All right, guys. So this is Rebel Hotel with Keep the Pace. Nice and stripped down, real and raw, just how we like it. Ricky Reckless, Rick Ohrn, and myself, Aaron Lee, just reminiscing and reliving the good old days. Here we go, keep the pace. 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, 4.
outside looking in. The world keeps turning and time is standing still. Feels so wrong that you're wasting all your life. You pretend everything is fine. Time passes you by now, and it feels like you're growing old. You work so hard, but got nothing to show. You gotta keep the pace. Keep the pace. Keep the pace. Your boss is a bitch and your life's a compromise. You're working away, bills are in piles. Dreaming about what you want but will not have. Can't face the facts, don't fall down the cracks. Time passes you by now, and it feels like you're growing old. You work so hard, but you got nothing to show. You gotta keep the pace. Keep the pace. Keep the pace. Keep the pace. Time passes you by now, and it feels like you're growing old. You work so hard, but you got nothing to show. You gotta keep the pace. 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 Keep the pace.
Love it, dude. Love it.
That's awesome, brother.
Love being back in action. That was Rebel Hotel. Keep the pace. Feel free to check it out on YouTube as well, like the full live version from probably like 10, 11, 12 years ago. Ricky really was pushing this project. Yeah, I mean, do you want to just tell like a little bit to like the listeners and the viewers about, you know, just how Rebel Hotel started, you know, just so we can understand like how it came into formation? What was your inspiration there?
It started with me playing in multiple bands. I was in 4 really good professional bands where I was just playing guitar, and every band broke up for the same reason as always.
Yeah.
Internal fights, and the lead singer walks out the door and never come back. So when the 4th time happened, I made a decision. I'm singing from now on, and I wasn't schooled singer by any means. I couldn't sing a whole set. I sang some backing vocals. But it wasn't enough, so I started taking singing lessons, and my drive was just, I gotta do this. Playing music and being a rock star, living that lifestyle was my life. So I wasn't gonna quit because the singer quit the band. So that was the whole inspiration behind Rebel Hotel, because if I'm gonna do this, if I'm the lead singer, if somebody wanna quit, I can keep going with the band.
Totally.
And it happened. It was a couple of guys in and out, and then we became the OGs, what I call it, you know. And that was the lineup that went through the years in Hollywood.
Love it. So forging your own path, blazing your own trail, and just full speed ahead.
That's it.
Love it, dude.
That's
Love it. All right, guys. This has been Rick Ohrn, myself, Aaron Lee, it's been an absolute pleasure. I just also want to say that I told Ricky over a year ago, I'm thinking about starting a podcast, and I just needed the right timing, the right environment, and just the right inspiration. And it's finally here. And I also told him in that same breath, dude, if this comes off and it's a thing, you're going to be my first person on the show. No word of a lie, no BS. Is that the truth?
That's absolutely the truth. And of course, brother.
Here we are. Here we are. Amazing.
Great to be here, dude.
All right, guys, check out Rick Ohrn, Rebel Hotel, online, and thank you all for tuning in.
RickyOhrn.com.
Hey guys, if you liked this episode of My Story Unveiled, make sure to give us a like, give us a follow, and we look forward to seeing you at the next one. Peace.